Shalom Alaikum. Shalom Alaikum. Welcome to the Hebrew Messianic Show. Hello, New Orleans. Hello, Hebrew planet Adama. The name of this show is called The Sign. Like the sign, like where you look for a sign. And you guys are familiar with the word where most of you guys call Isaiah 7:14. That's the way most people call it, so we'll leave it like that today. 7:14, and it talks about a Bethulah, untouched virgin, woman, girl, who's chosen to be used as a vessel to carry, nurture, and birth the Mashiach. Okay, and we will explain to you about the sign and explain to you every known entity on this Hebrew planet, is wrong as far as what you call religious-wise, scholarly-wise, historical-wise, denominational-wise. People are wrong about this particular concept. And as usual, we will break you off with a higher learning, Hebraic higher learning, understanding, comprehension concept, the way you can understand. And I will show you that the whole planet is wrong when it comes to the sign child that was conceived as in put in the Bethulah, as in like what they say Virgin Mary or Miriam, who had no sexual contact with any man, but Yotwahe is so great, who caused this whole planet and universe to exist. He can even put the spirit being Mashiach inside a person without sexual contact, just as well as Yodwahe gave the Mashiach knowledge how to create the first Hebrew human being that we call Adam, from the molecular DNA substance structure of this Hebrew planet Adama. The Mashiach was given the knowledge to take the substance, mud and clay, and create the Adam. And also the Mashiach also was given an understanding from Almighty Yodwahe to create the second Hebrew human being, Shavah, who most people call Eve of Shawah. The Mashiach created that second Hebrew human being from the substance material of the first Adam. Bone structure. Now, the calendars of mankind is 364 days. You start with Abib first, as in the term that you guys would use, a word that you're familiar with, like April 1st, Nicene 1st, or what you guys will call March 28th. From those four calendars, virgins of Hebrew understanding, declaration, amendment, those four calendars all have 364 days, and each year starts with the first and end with the 31st, first day of the week, and ends on the 31st day of the week. And the date, time slots never change compared to the planet where each year, following after the beast, you could have been birthed on the first day of the week. Next year, the first day of the week, date, say for example, the first day of the week is what you guys call Tuesday to Wednesday, or just Tuesday. Tuesday, 24 hours in the land of Yisrael, Yadwahe as in Israel, or any part of this continent, world system, universe world system, outside of the land of Yisrael, Yadwahe as in Israel. It would be a combination of Tuesday to Wednesday, 24 hours, as far as the first day of the week. All right? But let's just say your birthday, birthed out of your mother, was on the first day of the week. Next year, the first day of the week calendar will move, date would move on the second day of the week. And the point is, you can't be birthed on one time slot and then the next year the calendar day time slot move to the next day time slot. That's illogical, stupid, dumb, and it's not reality. But you guys have been living that way for so many years. Tell you what, let me give you an example of, we're going to pull up chart 1. I'm going to give you an example, for example, the days of the week. Oh, and for the record, when this show was recorded, for those that follow on Google Plus, could you pull up that Google Plus site for a second? There you go. Those that follow on Shalika Hoshia at gmail.com, you guys know we've shown that there's 364 days in the calendar, and to prove that, or even set of numbers, how many days, look at that calendar there, how many days in a week? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you look above 1, where we have like New Year's, the first day of the week, 24 hours for us outside of Israel time zone, is Tuesday to Wednesday, 24 hours. And the second day of the week outside of Yisrael, Yadwahe time zone, as far as Israel, second day of the week is what? Wednesday to Thursday, 24 hours. The third day of the week is Thursday to Friday, 24 hours. The fourth day of the week is Friday to Saturday, 24 hours. The fifth day of the week is Sunday to Monday, 24 hours. The sixth day of the week, did I do that right? Okay, fifth day of the week, Saturday to Sunday. I apologize if I made a mistake. The sixth day of the week is Sunday to Monday. And the seventh day of the week is actually Monday to Tuesday. Anybody outside of Israel, there's a combination of two periods to equate one set of 24 hours. But if you were in the land of Israel, what you call Israel, where time started on the other side of the world, on the land, continent of Adam, that Europeans later on in time, some Roman general named Africa something, he decided to call the land of Adam, what you guys are familiar with the word Africa, but actually the land of Adam where mankind started that whole continent, nowhere else. Well, anyway, take for example Israel. from New Orleans, they're 8 hours different. So the first day of the week over there would be just Tuesday. But by the time the time period sun reach over here, it would be out of those 24 hours where there's 12 hours night and 12 hours light, we would take partial Tuesday and a certain partial Wednesday, but it would equate to 24 hours. Now, but anyway, example. Let's look at the top. Let's just look at the top. See the fifth day of the week? Let's say it's the first month, Abib, as in April or Nisan, even now, where you can use March 28. And a good calendar reference would be the year which you guys called 2000. That's when the alignment in the universe with the seasons were actually correct. Okay? And let's say Abib as in April, let's say 6, you was birthed out of your mother. And, okay, April 5th, you see that's the fifth day of the week, which would be in our time slot on this side of the world. That would be what, Saturday to Sunday. But next year, the calendar that the world system used, they will move Saturday to Sunday to the 6th day time slot. And that's just like you birthed out on the 5th day of the week. All right, so the next year, when it comes to Abib 5th or April 5th, your birthday should still be on the 5th day of the week. But the world system will move the 5th day time slot to the 6th day time slot. And you guys have been doing that for years and years, and you always wondered why your birthday moved around. It didn't move around. It never moved around. You was birthed out on the 5th day of the week. Your anniversary would be the next year, still the 5th day of the week. But the world system have the days of their calendar moving around, but time really does not move around. Now that we've showed that, we're going to give you a little information on the sign. We're going to give you a little information on the sign. And what we will show you how the Mashiach, the first Hebrew spirit soul being that was created other than before this universe, excuse me, this universe and planets and stars and all that was created, it was just E-H, yep. Forgot to left my phone on. Wait just 1 second. Shalika. Give Halle. Wallah, salam alaikum. Shukran. I'm doing a TV show right now. You have to call me back in about 45 minutes. No, I tell you what, call me back in about 2 hours. Shukran. Salam alaikum. Sorry about that, audience. Matter of fact, let me cut this phone off this time. Oh, shoot. Let me just do this here. Sorry about that. Okay, we're going to show you the sign information and how everybody on the planet is wrong. For the record today, right now, is when this show was first filmed. This is the first month, Abib, the 17th, the third day of the week, the resurrection day. That's right. The resurrection day, the third day of the week, when the Mashiach was restored from the underworld after preaching a 3-day revival is restored as a spirit, soul, self-being back to his physical body. And as I was saying before, a physical body that was in the tomb, but as I was saying before this universe and everything was ever created, it was just Yod Waheh, Hebrew Yod Waheh, and the Hebrew Malachim in the Hebrew, like that most people call angels. That's all it was. And then when Yod Waheh, Yod Waheh, realized that Halal Yod Waheh, who was the first of the Malachim as in angels, some kind of way tripped out, being the messenger, the way he was created above all the rest of the angels. He decided that he can do the job without listening to Almighty Yod Waheh. And when he did that, his mind snapped. And Yod Waheh devised a plan to create another being, Hebrew-type being, and a whole new universe that didn't even exist. And he created this planet Adama. You guys usually see space programs where the Adama, as in Earth, is suspended in space with no strains at all. Well, anyway, in Yod Waheh, the angels did not know, created the first prototype spirit soul being, HaMashiach, a new being that never existed before outside of the Hebrew angels. And the Mashiach is the first prototype of us. That's right. He's the first prototype of us. All right? And you can see that on my Google site where it would even explain that on certain lessons. But anyway, Yod Waheh would create the Mashiach and give the Mashiach a plan of how to create the first Adam. And the first Adam would be used in the plan to expose Halal, who was in heaven. And when the message is told for the angels to come see a whole new universe that never existed, when they come from heaven, Hebrew heaven, wherever Hebrew heaven's at, the angels would see this magnificent world. They would come at certain periods of time. On a particular day, actually would have been Abib 6, when the angels would come, and they would go, because they never seen oxygen. They never seen stars and moons or even the planet Earth and animals and water. And they would praise Almighty Yod Waheh that they see something they've never seen before. And then eventually their final stop would be they would see the Adam, who was created from the physical dust, clay, mud of this Hebrew planet Adama, and they would bow down to the image of the Adam, and then they would have one third left, and then Halal would come, Yod Waheh, who always was first told anything, but this time he was not told. And when he see the Adam, who was the color, I'm kind of like brownish red, but the Adam was black like my shirt. I'm just a different, lighter version of blackness. All of us on the planet, even albino is a different version of blackness. But the Adam was black like this shirt, and the Halal, Yod Waheh, who was in heaven, Michael had told him that Almighty Yod Waheh had said, bow down to the Adam, and he refused. That was the first commandment broken. And the moment he refused, Michael said, bow down again, and he would not. And then Halal Yod Waheh, the Malachim as an angel, refused again. And as he refused, he transformed on this planet Adama into the Satan. So on Abib 6, or April 6, the year 1, the angel of Malachim, Halel Yatwahe became the Satan and ceased from being an angel. And the 1/3 angels that was behind him, they also decided to follow Halel Yatwahe, and they became demons. Okay, now enough of that history. Let me show you the sign, but you guys look up there one more time. You see Tuesday, Wednesday, in Israel, on the land of Adam, that y'all call Africa, but it's the land of Adam, it's 24 hours Tuesday. But for us, outside of that time zone, on the opposite side of the world, for us, 24 hours is Tuesday to Wednesday. The second day of the week is Wednesday to Thursday. Third day of the week is Thursday to Friday. Fourth day of the week is Friday to Saturday. Fifth day of the week is Saturday to Sunday. Sixth day of the week, Sunday to Monday. And the Shabbat over there is 24 hours Monday. 12 hours night, 12 hours light. But for us, it's Monday to Tuesday. That would be a combination of numbers, sequences, but it would add up eventually to 24 hours. Now we will show you the sign and show you something about the message of the sign and show you that everybody on the planet is wrong. And most of you guys from the TV audience and also Google Plus, you guys or you people are used to hearing and seeing Hebraic, Hebrew higher learning, prophetic prophecy that changed the whole planet since we was chosen and sent in New Orleans at this station, NOA in New Orleans. When we first came on, we shamed the whole planet, and a lot of history books, concordance are obsolete. And the world system is shame about it. But I'm called in the 5-4 ministry a shalika in Hebrew, which you guys call apostles. And I'm a signed messenger sent in this day and time for such a time as this. Let me explain the sign to you. All right. Tell you what, controller. All right, this is the money, baby. Tell you what, pull up chart number 4. Thank you very much. Chart number 4. And that would be the one that has Malikim, Ford month, the year 457, the conception, and the other chart below it are very good. Okay, now I tell you what, phase me out like that. How you guys like that? Watch, I'm snapping them back on the screen. Saw that? All right, now this is part of the sign to expose that the whole planet is wrong. Listen to the prophetic biblical information. Controller, can you write a number on the monitor? Let me know how much time I have left. I want you guys to look at Malikim that shows the conception when the Mashiach was put in Miriam, and the next month shows when the Mashiach was birthed out of Miriam. Wow, I have a half an hour left? Okay, very good. Now, all right, look at that top chart. Now, Malikim, 4th month, means it's the 4th month of the year. And we have here the Dana Yatwahe Daniel timeline, we have the year 457. But in Adam timeline, it's the year 4,227. That's right. So look at that top chart. In the 4th month of Malikim, on the Shabbat day, which would be in New Orleans, on this side of the world, Monday to Tuesday, the Mashiach was put inside Miriam's body on the Shabbat. And the reason why the Mashiach, the sign, remember Isaiah, which y'all call Isaiah 7:14, the sign, or in Hebrew, Navah, as in prophet, Yud Shin Ayin Yod-Wah-He, chapter 7, verse 14, the sign. Guess what? The reason why the Mashiach was put in Miriam 4,227 years later, and on the Shabbat as the sign, and in the 4th month, because the word Malikim means the month of kings. So that was a sign that the Mashiach is the king of this planet. That's right. Team back on me for a second. That the Mashiach was the king of the planet. So that's why Almighty Yod-Wah-He put the spirit being Mashiach inside the Bethula Virgin Miriam woman, who the Catholics call the Black Madonna, which means in Latin Miriam. The 4th month, Malikim as a sign because he's the king of this planet Adamah, this Hebrew world, this Hebrew planet. The 4th month is called Malikim because he's the king of the universe. That's one sign code. And you go from the 4th month, the 7th day, 273 days. Guess what? Look at that bottom chart. The bottom chart say Abib 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. See Abib 6 on that bottom chart? That was the sign which you guys call 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 45, and then also they have 47. The 9th month day from Malikim 7 to Abib 6, the 4,228 year of Adam timeline, but Daniel timeline, that's the year 458, 273 days, that's a sign that the Mashiach is the second Adam. That's right. And the 273rd day, which equal 9 months. Let me show you better than I can tell you what I mean. Controller, come back to me. Let's go to chart 3, and we're going to go to the beginning of time. We're going to show you the sign. Fills me out. Let's act like this is the beginning of time, year 1, 6,001 years ago. We have day 1 when the planet is created, day 2, sea and water, day 3, dry land, day 4, sun, moon, and stars. The energy is turned on, but the plan of the sun, moon, and stars was diagrammed actually on day 1. Day 5, the birds, the sea creatures. Day 6 is when the atom was created. The atom was created on the first Adam, our father. Adam was created on Abib 6. And like I said, also the spiritual war, because the angel that became Satan did not want to bow to the black-skinned Adam, the first Adam. The war happened on Abib 6. And the next day, after Adam survived it, in a celebration that the first Adam was in existence, and Satan on the 6th day tried to leave the planet Earth and go to heaven, and he was kicked back down to earth. And then day 7 happened, and the first Shabbat was created for mankind. All right, come back to me. Let's go back to that chart, chart number 4. All right, phase me out. Again, look at the bottom. So from Malikim, 4th month, the 7th day, the first week, the Shabbat, 273 days. Miriam, 9th month day, the Mashiach has been in Miriam for 273 days. That's a sign that he's the second Adam, because the first Adam was created on the 6th day. Then you count 1, 2, 3, 4 more days. That's the sign. That's Abib 10. That's the sign that he's the future preparation lamb 33 years later. But on Abib 10, From ABIP 6, that's 73, 74, 75, 76. All right, look at it again. 73 is ABIP 6. 74, 75, 76, 77. Miriam, 277 days, one human being carrying another human being inside a body. On ABIP 10, that's the sign that he's the future preparation lamb, and also the sign that Miriam would go in labor on ABIP 10. And you know, Moses was told in the first month, the 10th day, that you would pick the lamb. So this is a sign when Mary goes into labor on ABIP 10 is a sign that he's also the preparation the preparation lamb that Moses was told later on in time, in the first month, the 10th day, you pick the lamb. 4 more days is ABIP 13. Miriam water breaks on the 13th. That's 280 days. One human being inside another human being body on ABIP 13 is a sign that he's the future. On the second preparation day, ABIP 13 is a sign that he's the sacrificial lamb on the 280 day. 33 years later, on ABIP 13, Mashiach would die as the lamb on the crossbar. 3 hours later, out of 21 hours, ABIP 14, Mary birthed the lamb in Bethlehem on the Shabbat. And that's the sign, as what you guys call Elijah, you guys would use the term Elijah. But that is the sign that the second, we use the term that you guys are familiar with, Elijah has come and is birthed on the Passover. And Mary had a little lamb. How you like that? We showed you several different signs. Controller, tell me how much time I have. So we've showed you that the Mashiach was birthed in the 4th month on the Shabbat as a sign that he's the king of the planet, because Malika means the month of kings. And we know Miriam, night, Monday, 25 minutes left. I thought I was lost in time. Thank you. Mary, night, Monday is ABIP 6. And that's a sign that the Mashiach is the second Adam. The world system does not teach this. They have that scripture, but as far as the calendar date, they don't have that code. 4 more days is a sign as the second Adam. ABIP 10, Yadwahe causes Miriam, the black Madonna Miriam, to go in labor on ABIP 10. And that corresponds with what Moses was told later on in time. Pick, in the future, he told him, first month, the 10th day, you pick the lamb. So, Yadwahe caused the lamb in Mary to quicken. And Mary went in labor, ABIP 10, according to scripture. 4 more days, Mary waters break, ABIP 13. And as you know, ABIP 13, 33 years later, the Mashiach as the lamb is a sign also that he's the lamb, ABIP 10, ABIP 13, shed his cleansing blood to break the curse of Satan on ABIP 13. And the 3 hours left out of ABIP 13, when the 3 hours is up on ABIP 14, Mary birthed the lamb, had a little lamb in Bethlehem, according to scriptures. That's right. That's right. Okay, team back up on me. What do you think about that? Judaism system, Christianity system, Israelite systems, or what they call black Hebrew Israelites, whatever, all these systems are wrong. We showing you the signs of biblical Hebrew higher learning, comprehension, understanding. We've showed you everything as far as signs, codes. We're not finished, though. I tell you what. Phase me out and go to chart number 1. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to do that there. All right. And we're going to show you some more signs from chart number 1. All right. So in the 490 year, denied Yudwahe as far as Daniel timeline, but in Adam timeline from year 1 to 4,260 years, you have Abib first at the top. And as you see, Abib first is the New Year anniversary. Abib 5th, what you would look at what y'all would call John 11:5, but it's in Hebrew Yatwahe Kanan 11 and 5-6. John 11 and 6, whatever. Anyway, it goes on and talk about Lazarus was sick and he died on the 5th day of the week. 6th day of the week, Lazarus still dead. 7th day of the week, Lazarus still dead. And they had sent for Lazarus. They had sent word to the Mashiach on the 3rd day of the week that Lazarus was sick. But the Mashiach did not come. Then in the 2nd week, on the 1st day of the week, what you call John 11 and 17 to 41, which would be Yatwahe Kanan, chapter 11, verse 17 to 41, the Mashiach spoke at the tomb. And Lazarus, as a spirit soul being that was inside the tomb, had separated from the physical soul body, was merged back to his body, and came back to his body and was resuscitated. Because the Mashiach spoke the word, and he prayed to Almighty, Yadwahe. So most people teach that there was a resurrection, but it was no resurrection. In order to be resurrected, you must cross over as a spirit soul being inside the earth and come back to the top of this earth, while your physical soul body is either buried, burned up in fire, whatever. It does not matter. But the point is, Lazarus' physical soul body was inside that tomb for those 4 days, and the Mashiach called him as a spirit soul self back to his physical soul self, and the both components of Lazarus merged together, and he was resuscitated, like a doctor would say when they put that electric shock thing on your chest, and that burst of energy would make your spirit soul self merge back into your physical soul body. Well, anyway, the Mashiach spoke the words with powerful energy, and the spirit soul self of Lazarus merged back to his physical soul body. The next day, on the 9th, the next day in the 2nd week, they threw a banquet because Lazarus was brought back to life. And the Mashiach, which you guys would call the second Elijah, who is Yotwahe Shinain and Memwa Nunhe, they threw a banquet for him and Lazarus, and the young woman anointed the Mashiach on Abib night for his burial. And then the next day, see Abib 10 now? Abib 10, Yotwahe Shinain and Memwa Nunhe, who most of you call Yeshua, or the word Jesus, but his real name is Yotwahe Shinain Memwa Nunhe. He rode into Jerusalem, Yotwahe Jerusalem, on Abib 10. Look at that, on Abib 10, this is not a curse word, on a ass, as they call donkey. And that fulfills Zechariah, what you call Zechariah 99. And they threw palms, not on the 1st day, but on the 3rd day. You guys been deceived. They threw palms on the 3rd day of the week. And that was the first preparation day. And you count from the 10th, 11, 12, 13, second preparation day. The lamb of Yadwahe, who's also the second Adam, who's also the first begotten son of Yod-Waheh, dies on the crossbar on Abib 13. That's right, Abib 13. Out of 24 hours, he lived 21 hours on Abib 13, and he dies on Abib 13. And right before he died, he said, Abba, that's Hebrew for father, I commend my physical soul to you. And while his physical soul body was dead and lifeless on the cross, Yod-Waheh Shinai left out his body and went straight up to heaven. That's right, went straight up to heaven. Revelation 5:1 says that the great spirit almighty Yod-Waheh was sitting on his throne. Revelation 5:1. And he had some seals in his hand. And 5:7 says, Revelation 5:7 says, the Mashiach, the spirit soul being, approached Almighty Yod-Waheh, who is his, what you guys call for God, or what you guys say is Elohim, but the correct word is Lemech He Yod Mem, who is Yod-Waheh. He approaches his Almighty Great Spirit Father, Lemech He Yod Mem, which y'all call God, and Yod-Waheh, who's a spirit being and Almighty, which you guys call Shaddai, gave the Mashiach, Revelation 5:1, the scrolls. And the Mashiach opened them on Abib 13. And when the 3 hours was up, the Mashiach, right when they were sealing the tomb with his body in it, when they were sealing the tomb on Abib 14 at the start of the Passover, they were sealing the tomb. The Mashiach came from heaven and went in the underworld on Abib 14. But I forgot to tell you something. Let's back up to the 12. That's right before the 13. On the Mashiach was anointed for his burial on Abib 12. He went by Simon's house, and another woman anointed him the second time for his burial. That's right. Forgot to tell you that. Now let's go to Abib 14. And before Abib 14, the Mashiach had said that they would crucify me. I would die as the atonement lamb on Abib 13, the first month, on the 6th day of the week, the second week. And my body would be in the tomb on the Passover, which is Shabbat, 24 hours, a night and day. Abib 15, the first day of the week, night and day. Abib 16, night and day. And the Mashiach said, after 3 days and 3 nights, I would rise on the third day, which is Abib 17, which you call Tuesday to Friday, not on what y'all call, what you claim was Sunday. Is a lie. The Mashiach said after 3 days and then 24 hours, he would rise on the third day, which would be Abib 17. That's a code that before I came to NOA in New Orleans, and when I did come as a Shalika special messenger for such a time as this, no human being on the planet had that knowledge right. That knowledge had been lost, even though it's in the scriptures, but we had eyes and could not see like the wrestler John Cena could do like that. He said, you can't see me. That's right. You did not have the mental understanding from Ruach Kadesh, which you guys call the Holy Spirit. Controller, how much time I have? $14 minutes. All right, thank you. Phase me out for a second. Look at that. Rose on the third day of the week, Abib 17, the resurrection day, which today is the anniversary of the resurrection day. Let me just look at that map for a minute. That's right. In the year 4,260 years from Adam, the Mashiach resurrected from the underworld, and he preached a 3-day revival. The 24 hours, the Passover, The 15th, first day of the week, 24 hours. And the 16th, second day of the week, 24 hours. And after those 3 days and 3 nights, rolls on the third day of the week, ABIB 17, which today is the anniversary. ABIB 17. That's right. Today is ABIB 17 anniversary when the show was filmed. You guys will see this show in a few days from now. Unless some miraculous thing happened to where this station is so excited because they're the first and the best station on the planet. Now, some other stations may carry this now, but NOA in New Orleans, the first station to even bring this knowledge to mankind several years ago. They may be excited and make an exception. I don't know. That's just me talking. But if not, you guys will see this in a few days from now if the world does not come to an end or something drastic happen. What do you think about that? Look at that. ABIB 13 in the second week. Look at it. Sacrificial death. And that's also the atonement day for all mankind, to break the curse of Satan, where we will be able to be resurrected and rejoin physical soul and spirit soul back together. Buried on the Shabbat. Look at it. What you call Monday to Tuesday. 24 hours. Still buried the first day of the week, what you guys call Tuesday to Wednesday. 24 hours. Still buried the first day of the week, second day of the week, Wednesday to Thursday. 24 hours. And after 3 days, Passover, first day of the week and second day of the week, a burial. While the physical soul body was buried, the Mashiach, the spirit soul being, was in the underworld preaching a 3-day revival. Abraham seen his seed on ABIB 14, 15, and 16. David saw his seed. Our father Adam saw his seed on ABIB 14, 15, and 16 in the underworld. That's right. And after those 3 days and 3 nights, the Mashiach rose on ABIB 17, the third day of the week, which you call Thursday to Friday. Then, this week here is also called the Feast of Weeks. Feast of Weeks. And if you look at that number on ABIB 17, that is day 1 of the Feast of Weeks. That's right, there would be total 40 days, Feast of Weeks. Look at ABIB 17, first day, Resurrection Day. 18 the second, 19 the third, 20th the fourth, 21st the fifth. And look at the 22nd, 6th, 23rd, 7th, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. That's for 14 days have passed. All right, go to calendars, the second calendar continuous of Feast of Weeks that nobody on the planet is doing right. That would be calendar number 2. Fades me out now. Look at it, Feast of Weeks. In the second month of the year, the 490 year, the Daniel timeline, and Adam timeline, 4,260. Look, I should have brought my glasses, man. Anyway, Savan, first, look at that, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There go your second Sabbath. And you go to the next week, it jumps to the 26th. That's your third Sabbath. Do you do the next week? It goes to the 33rd day. Look at that. 6th Sabbath. And the next week, the 26th day, Zeph 26, the 40th day. That's the next Sabbath. Altogether, there will be 7 Sabbaths in those 7 weeks. Watch, count from this bottom. Count from the bottom. The 26, 1 Sabbath. The 19, 2. The 12, 3. The 5th, 4. Jump back up to chart 1. See it? 5, 6, and what you guys don't know, I don't have the other chart. Abib Zeph Savan, that would have another Sabbath. Go back to chart 2. They would have another Sabbath under the 26th. That would be your 7 weeks. They would have another Sabbath under the 26th. Nobody on the planet has showed these sign codes. In the next week of Abib Zeph Savan, you would eventually get to the 49th day when 120 people would be in the upper room and the anointing from heaven would come down, what you guys call Shekinah glory, or what the Mashiach called it, the kingdom of Yadwahi. That anointing power will fall upon them in the upper room. That would be the 49th day. And the next day would be the 50th day, where all people that had heard the Mashiach's message, that's right, the Mashiach's message, team back on me, the Mashiach message, no matter where they came from all over the world, if they had the mindset of the Mashiach message to turn away from sin and live righteous, like Shalika Saul said, they would be no longer called Gentile or heathen. They would become a Hebrew Messianic, believing in righteousness, and they would also be anointed with Ruach Kadesh on the 50th day. Now let's do like little highlights right quick. Let's go to chart 3. I forgot to clap. Abra. All right, we're going to go to chart 3. Phase me out. First Adam created Abib 6. Now we're going to go to chart 4. Adam was created on Abib 6. Now we're going to go to chart 4 about the signs. Chart 4, look at the bottom. The month is also Abib. And you see in the first week, Abib 6 was married 273rd day. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 47, that showed that the Mashiach is the second Adam. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 47, the second Adam. Because a complete 9 months completion is 273 days, and Mary's 9th day was on Abib 6 as a sign that the child that's in her is the second Adam. How you like that? How do you like that? All right, controller, you can team back on me. Let's pull up my my Google site thing. I'm kind of old-fashioned. There it is right there, Shalika Hoshea at gmail.com. And I'm first in the line of the 5-4 ministry. Shalika Hoshea Wadi Masa Meraba. And the name Hoshea Wadi Masa Meraba was given to me from on high. That's right. Some years ago, but I was not worthy yet to walk up in that name for such a time as this, but here I am. So, Judaism, Islam, anybody, Christianity, Schofield, Concordant books, or whoever else, they were all wrong. Let's go back to chart 1. I'm sorry, I forgot to pluck. Phase me out. Look at Abib 13. The second preparation day. That is the atonement day for all mankind in the first month. Judaism uses something in October or something like that as the atonement. What they talk about in October, guess what that was about? That was about Joseph. Father created an atonement day for their sins that they did against Joseph, selling them into Egypt. But that had nothing to do with the atonement for sins. All right, Abib 13 was the atonement day for all mankind. Abib 13, the first month. The Mashiach broke the curse of Satan. And to show you better, he can tell you like the Shalika Hoshea, show you better than he can tell you. Abib 13, death. Abib 14, the burial, 24 hours. Abib 15, take my Google thing off. 15, second 24 hours, first day of the week. Third 24 hours, the second day of the week. Phase me out. Abib 17, resurrection. The Mashiach showed the people better than he can tell them in the underworld for those 3 days of revival, 14, 15, 16, on the third day of the week. Guess what? Phase back on me. The Mashiach took 144,000 from the underworld and a few others. 144,000 were resurrected and walked in the city. That's right. And guess who they were? They were babies, male babies that had never sinned, that was murdered during the time that Herod, inspired by Satan, gave the order to murder the babies. Thank you for watching Hebrew Messianic Show. Shalom Aleichem, the sign.